Let me tell you, there's the post-mortem report. So they wouldn't let them have post-mortem, right? Then when they got a post-mortem, when they got one of them, a young boy, 17-year-old, they got the post-mortem done. The hospital wouldn't give them the report. And their home was raided. They were threatened. The amount of threats, I mean, you can't imagine how the relatives are being treated. So the relatives are in absolute fear. Where do you take the families of the people who died? Where do you take the families of the ones who are injured? They are being threatened. So some have come forward. If people want to interview them, we've sort of, volunteers are saying that we will sort of fudge their faces, blur their voices and faces and have the interviews. But there is a lawyers team which are working on it. But when we say missing, remember, I'll repeat myself, there are so many volunteer lawyers that are going from one police station to the other, helping the relatives locate them. You cannot identify the dead until you identify unless the missing are not located. The relatives will not know whether they are dead or alive. So I understand when the political party is unable to give a confirmed number because there are no dead bodies. So legally they say that unless we don't have a dead body, how can we say that they are dead? So they could be located or traced to a police station. This is a very serious time. And I'm telling you, and I'm telling my Pakistani overseas, they understand that, they have relatives over here, that it is a very big mistake to have shot at your own people. If for a minute they think that people are now going to sort of retreat with fear into their homes, I think it's a very serious situation in Pakistan right now, because you do not bring your military out to shoot at your people. That never happens. It was a peaceful protest. I keep saying we would not take a 14-year-old, 15-year-old to a protest. We were right there in the front. If you say, oh, they were about to break into what area? Were they going to break into there's a big distance. People come and protest over outside the White House, don't they? Outside the gate of the White House? Do you not come and protest in front of the White House? You're talking about at least a kilometer away from any of these buildings. So if you're a kilometer away, you're not even close to the building. So why were you firing at a crowd sitting in the middle of a road? And I'll tell you what happens with young people anywhere in the world. It's a universal factor. You fire tear gas and rubber bullets at them, they turn around and pick up the tear gas shells and throw it back. That becomes a game. Even I was telling them, there's a tear gas shell over there, throw it back. Because you want to save yourself from tear gas. Why not? Why are you throwing tear gas at me in the first place? Apart from that, a game of tear gas is understood. But when you put people, snipers on top of a building, that's a crime. It is a crime against humanity. It is a crime against peaceful protesters. And it is not just limited to Pakistan. When I mentioned it on Australian TV, and I would like you to hear that. Pakistan is a member of Commonwealth, and it has all the countries led by by United Kingdom. And I did ask the three main factors, like the 3 points of the charter, which brings all these nations together, is rule of law, democracy, human rights. Exactly the 3 points that this protest was for. So when we are demanding or protesting for these 3 points, for human rights, for rule of law, and for democracy, why would we be fired at? Why were we shot at? Why was my granddaughter, my sister's granddaughter, put at that risk? What was that the fault of a 14-year-old? There were so many children there. There were so many older people over there. So